Hey folks, what's going on? It's Matt with Heroic Tactics, and I'm here to talk about, I guess, a piece that's been making a lot of news, and that is the LE Doctor Octopus. And his trait reads as follows. The Arms of the Octopus. At the beginning of your turn, place the 2 tentacle pair tokens on this card, maximum 2. Modify Doctor Octopus's defense value by +1 for every tentacle pair token on this card. Give Doctor Octopus a power action, remove 1 or 2 tentacle pair tokens from this card, until your next turn, Doctor Octopus can use Giant Reach ability, locks his damage at his printed value, and then can use Flurry once as a free action for each tentacle pair token removed from this card. Which is fantastic because his top dial, his damage is 3, so if you remove both tokens, that is a potential 12 damage you're doing to somebody. And he starts without Wick, so there's a very good chance he'll get through his reducers. And he's got Giant Reach, so that just means as in just one person, he's got, if he bases one person, he can still get the guy next to him. So there's a lot of options right here, and that's what makes him fantastic for only 80 points. And the only thing really holding him back is his delivery system, so that's one of the things I've been working to crack on. So one thing they've noticed, and they have ruled on this, is that you can give Dr. Oct the power action, and then he can be carried, and then he can make those attacks as the free actions, which is gross, super gross. Yeah, that's yucky. I'm not fond of that. It's scary, scary. So the first transport I thought about for him was a Manifold. Manifold can carry 3 people if they share a keyword with him. He doesn't share a keyword with him, but he's got the 12 facing teleport, and you know, that's a pretty good movement. Phasing teleport, put him everywhere you want. The reason I jumped through Manifold because I immediately thought of the Fast Forces Captain America. Now the Fast Forces Captain America at 50 points, you can give him a power action and then move an Avengers character, or a character that shares a key with them, in this case Avengers, and move them half their speed. So that 12 becomes a 6, because a carry becomes a 4, so that's 4 squares out. And then he can move him again for 12, minus 2, 10, so 14 square reach. Put him in square 15 with the Colossal Reach 16, so 16 square reach, which is pretty snazzy. Not as much as I wanted it to be. It's still 2/3 of the map. Yeah, 2/3 of the map. So I was like, that's pretty cool, but like I was looking for something just a little bit better, and I was like, Nightwing from the world's finest Fast Forces sets got Outsiders at 25 points. It's the cheapest Outsiders you could possibly get. So if I Outsiders Manifold, when I use Cap, his first movement is 6, even though he's carrying Doc Ock. And then when he uses his movement again, that's 12, so it's 18 reach right there. 19, put Cap to put him out right there, and then 20 with the Colossal Reach. So I'm like, yes, that is snazzy. So to kind of finish up the team, I threw on Mixie Pixely because I guess right now also dominating the meta is Nick Fury, who's got the traded shape change. So if I could roll bad with Mr. Mixably and like roll a 4 or less, I could take that shape change out of the equation. I had 15 points left over. Sorry, 17 points left over. So I was like, Pim Particles and Henry. Not too fond of Henry because Doc Octopus locks his damage value, so he will not make a lot of effect, but it's 15 points, and 15 points is 15 points, so I was like, sure. That puts me at 300, and it was a solid team, but there's a lot of stuff. I was doing entirely too much, I believe, to make Doctor Octopus work, and once Doctor Octopus and Manifold got up there, like, these guys were almost useless, because, yeah, although I could push Manifold to prob and have some stuff, it felt weaker than I wanted it to be. So I kind of hit this on the other idea instead. So I was trying to find a more efficient way of carrying, and I stumbled across Magic. Magic, of course, she's got traded carry, she's got traded phasing teleport. For a free action, I can double her movement. Right now she's a 9, so doubling would be an 18. As long as after she moves, I deal 1 unavoidable damage to her or the person she carries, which is cool because after she takes a click of damage, she becomes 8 movement, 11 pulse wave, 17 energy shield with 3 prop control. So like right away, that she's still useful afterwards. She's 102 points, which will come into play in a second, and I was like, yeah, that's awesome. But I was still kind of running into the same problem where, you know, even if I double movement to an 18, that's a 16 when she carries. So I was like, oh, I was going to use Nightwing. And, you know, I like it, but again, it just leaves him behind. He doesn't do what I need to do. So I was looking for an Outsiders, something with the Outsiders ability that added a lot of stuff. And that's when I came across Element Man. Element Man is a 100-point character with the Outsiders team ability, so he can keep my magic at an 18 for movement purposes when carrying Doc Ock. He's got a pick a power, which I find to be incredibly useful. You can pick an attack or a defensive power, which it's definitely useful. I need Precision Strike, or I need Pulse Wave, I need TK. I got a lot of options right here. More importantly, my team, Doctor Octopus as it stands, is very awesome, but he's also very vulnerable to Copycat. So my team right now, my opponent has 2 options to pick. Yeah, Magic is 102 points, so just outside of Copycat's steal a power ability. So my opponent's got 2 choices. They can either take Doctor Octopus, who's the core of my team, or Element Man. If they take Doctor Octopus, like they probably should, because Doctor Octopus is pretty much the hinge of my team, that pops Copycat right here next to Element Man. Now, as I said earlier, Element Man can pick any defensive power. So, first turn, as a free action, he picks Regen. As a free action, Copycat copies Regen, and in power action, she regens, which triggers the switchback. Well, my Doctor Octopus is probably right there, right next to my opponent's team, with his 2 tokens or his 2 tentacle tokens, and his, you know, and his outwit. So it's right there. He's in hunting season. He can just theoretically do his 12 damage to my opponent in their starting area. Everything is happy, hunky dory, assuming I went second, you know, or just it's awesome. Doctor Octopus, Copycat. My opponent taking Copycat does what I built the whole rest of my team to do, which is to get Doctor Octopus next to their characters. So, I guess if I see Copycat and they take my Doctor Octopus, they did me the best favor I could have possibly asked for. So, thank you, Copycat, for hooking me up. So the 102 points, while it is a blessing, it does kind of hurt because it gives me 18 points left over on my team, which I didn't really know what to fill with, so I went with the pretty much usual standby if you got a couple of points left over. The Pim Particles and Henry. Of course, Dr. Octopus's damage is locked, so Henry's not as useful, but he can, you know, buff up my Element Man or my Magic as he gets up there, and he's tiny, so that's pretty cool. I don't know if this is legal or not. I can't really find anything about it because the TK definition only really mentions moving objects for, you know, damaging your opponent purposes. But what I was thinking I could do is in my starting area, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, blah, blah, blah. So if this is my starting area, first turn, pick TK. TK the object to Dr. Octopus. Dr. Octopus takes the power action to pick it up and make him tiny. Sidestep, Outsiders, and then she can carry both of them. Theoretically. Again, I don't know if that works. I can't really find anything about that. I've seen it done before, but they were in casual play, and I wasn't in a position to really... It'd be jerk of me to be like, I don't know if you can do that. So I was like, yeah, let's just have fun. If this works, that's awesome. It can carry my whole team. It does leave Henry out in the lurch, but at 7 movement facing teleport, hopefully he can catch up to my team at the end of the turn. Or at least in my opponent's starting area. So this is my Doc Ock delivery system team. As always, I'm interested to hear what changes you would have made to it. Please leave those in the comments below. Or what you would have built instead. Also leave those in the comments below. So thank you for watching. This has been Matt with Heroic Tactics, and may all your dice roll hot.